The reason you're not rich has nothing to do with your salary, your background, or even the economy. It has everything to do with 3 lies about money that you've been programmed to believe since childhood. And once you see these lies for what they are, everything changes. Most people will never escape financial mediocrity because they're fighting the wrong battle entirely. You wake up every morning and the first thought that hits you isn't about your dreams or your purpose. It's about money. How much you don't have, how much you need, how behind you are. You work hard, maybe even work smart, but somehow you're still trapped in this endless cycle. Pay the bills, buy the necessities, maybe save a little, and repeat, month after month, year after year. And deep down, you know something is fundamentally wrong with this picture. You see others who seem to have cracked some invisible code while you're still struggling with the same financial patterns your parents had. Here's what nobody talks about. Your relationship with money isn't about money at all. It's about the invisible mental prison you've been living in without even knowing it exists. Today, we're going to shatter that prison, because the moment you understand how rich people's minds actually work versus how you've been conditioned to think, that's the moment your entire financial reality begins to shift. The ancient philosopher Epictetus said something that will change how you see money forever. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. But here's the twist. The same principle applies to every dollar that enters your life. Rich people and poor people can receive the exact same amount of money, but what they do with it next reveals everything about their internal programming. It's not the money that determines the outcome. It's the lens through which they see that money. Think about this. When you look at a dollar, what do you see? Most people see an expense waiting to happen. Rich people see a seed that could grow into a tree. This isn't about positive thinking or manifestation. This is about recognizing that you've been looking at money through a broken lens your entire life. And today we're going to replace that lens with one that actually works. Let me start by destroying the most expensive lie you've ever bought. Time is money. You've heard this thousands of times. Your parents said it. Your teachers said it. Society has drilled it into your head. And this single belief is what keeps most people financially imprisoned forever. Here's why this is so dangerous. If time equals money, then the only way to make more money is to sell more time. But time is finite. You only have 24 hours in a day, so you hit a ceiling immediately. But here's what rich people understand that changes everything. Time is infinitely more valuable than money. Think about it this way. If a doctor told you that you had 24 hours to live, but there was a cure that cost every penny you owned, you'd pay it instantly. Why? Because your soul knows that time is the only truly irreplaceable asset you have. The mindset shift. Stop trading time for money. Start using time to build systems that make money without you. When you truly understand that your time is priceless, you stop giving it away cheaply. You start asking, how can I create value once and get paid for it repeatedly? Every person on Earth falls into one of 3 categories when it comes to money psychology. And which category you're in right now is determining your entire financial future. Category 1, the bill payer, poor mindset. These people believe money exists to pay bills and buy stuff. That's it. So they find jobs that give them just enough to cover expenses and maybe buy a few things that make them feel better about being broke. The tragedy. They'll never escape this cycle because they've programmed themselves to only make enough money to stay trapped. Category 2. The credit builder, middle-class mindset. These people think money exists to create and maintain good credit so they can buy things they can't afford with tomorrow's money. They make more money than Category 1, but they're still trapped because they're always paying for yesterday's purchases. They have nicer stuff, but they're still slaves to the same system. Category 3. The multiplier, rich mindset. These people see money as a tool to create more money. Every dollar that comes into their life, they ask, how can I turn this into $2 or 10 or 100? They don't spend the principal. They spend the interest. They don't eat the seeds. They plant them and eat the fruit. Here's the brutal truth. You don't change categories by making more money. You make more money by changing categories. Your current financial situation is just a reflection of which category your mind currently lives in. Most people think there are only two ways to make money: have a job or own a business. But both of these can trap you in the same cycle if you don't understand the difference between working in something versus working on something. Let me break this down. Level 1. Have a job. You sell your time for someone else's money. The moment you stop working, the money stops coming. You're essentially renting yourself to someone else. Level 2. Own a job. You start a business, but you're still the one doing all the work. You bought yourself a job. You can get a job for free. Why would you pay to own one? Level 3. Own a system. This is where everything changes. A system makes money whether you're working or not. It could be a book that sells while you sleep, a course that teaches people 24/7, or an investment that grows without your daily input. Level 4. Sow money seeds. This is where your money makes money. Your systems generate enough income that you can invest significant amounts, and those investments create even more passive income. The beautiful thing about levels 3 and 4, you have both money and time. Most people sacrifice one for the other. Rich people refuse to accept that trade-off. The key insight: you don't build wealth by working harder. You build wealth by creating systems that work harder than you do. Here's the final piece that separates rich thinking from poor thinking: how you handle uncertainty. Poor and middle-class people want guarantees. They want to know exactly what's going to happen before they risk a single dollar. They want certainty in an uncertain world. Rich people seek opportunities. They understand that every great fortune was built by someone who was willing to bet on themselves when there were no guarantees. Think about it. Every stock that ever made anyone rich was risky when they bought it. Every business that created wealth started with uncertainty. Every investment that changed someone's life required faith in possibility rather than comfort in certainty. But here's what's really happening. When you demand guarantees, you're actually guaranteeing that you'll stay exactly where you are, because guaranteed returns are always lower than the rate of inflation. You're guaranteed to lose purchasing power over time. When you seek opportunities, you're betting on your ability to create value in the world. You're betting on growth, progress, and human potential. The mindset shift. Stop asking, what if I lose money? Start asking, what if I don't try and stay broke forever? The biggest risk isn't losing money. It's never developing the courage to create the life you actually want. So here we are. You started this video thinking your money problems were about money. But now you see the truth. Your money problems are about the lens through which you see money. Every dollar that comes into your life is asking you a question. Who are you going to become because of me? Are you going to become someone who immediately turns me into expenses and temporary relief from financial stress? Or are you going to become someone who sees me as raw material for building something bigger? The person you were when you clicked on this video saw money as something to spend. The person you're becoming sees money as something to multiply. This isn't about getting rich quick. This is about becoming rich in your thinking. Because rich thinking creates rich results, and rich results create rich lives. The moment you stop thinking like someone who needs money and start thinking like someone who creates money, that's the moment your entire financial trajectory changes forever. You've been trying to solve a money problem with money solutions. But money problems are solved with mind solutions. The only question left is, who are you choosing to become? If this perspective shift hit you like it should have, I want to know, which of these three money personalities have you been living in, and what's the first system you're going to build to escape it? Drop that in the comments, and if you're ready to completely reprogram your relationship with money and wealth, hit that subscribe button because every video on this channel is designed to feed your millionaire brain. Remember, before you can have the wealth you want, you have to become the person who deserves it. I'll see you in the next one.